Friends of the media, let's have a photo call. The two secretaries will hold up the budget for the photo call.
Thank you. This is a press conference on the 2023-24 budget. We have with us Mr. Kevin Yeung, Secretary for Culture and Sports and Tourism, and Ms. Alice Mack, Secretary for Home and Youth Affairs. So welcome to the press conference. The two secretaries will deliver opening remarks, and then the floor will be open for questions and answers. We start with Ms. Alice Mack.
Good afternoon. Now I will briefly explain the policy measures under the latest budget in relation to the Home and Youth Affairs Bureau. Over the past year, with the concerted efforts of different sectors in society and also the general public, we are returning to normalcy. All inbound traveling quarantine measures have been lifted, and also travel has fully resumed with the mainland and the world. The atmosphere in society has become very vibrant. The HKSAR government is going to launch the Happy Hong Kong campaign, which focuses on gourmet experiences, fun amusements, and exciting ambience. This will provide members of the public with more diverse choices of fun and interesting activities in Hong Kong and help stimulate consumption and boost our economy. The campaign comprises 3 parts. This includes a gourmet marketplace, which is a large-scale food fairs organized in various districts for local members of the public and visitors to enjoy gourmet from the world. We will be the one to organize the activity, and we will announce the details later. And also the Hong Kong Tourism Bureau will organize a large-scale sea land carnival in summer with Victoria Harbour as the stage. Various performing groups from the world will perform a wide range of dancing, music, and street performances. And also there will be a brand new lighting show to offer a new experience to the public and visitors to enjoy the spectacular view of the harbour. And also, the West Kowloon Cultural District Authority, the Hong Kong Disneyland, Ocean Park Hong Kong, the Hong Kong Cyberport Management Company Limited, and the Hong Kong Science and Technology Parks Corporation will support the Happy Hong Kong campaign and hold themed fairs, carnivals, and other activities this year. Besides the Happy Hong Kong campaign, this term of the government highly values the contribution made by women to society, and also we attach a lot of importance to the work to support women. This budget has earmarked $100 million to strengthen support for development of women. New funding will be injected into the Women Empowerment Fund. That is from year 2023-24 onwards. The annual funding for the fund will be increased from $10 million to $20 million. The additional funding is a timely response to the aspiration of women's bodies and organizations, which hope that the government can further strengthen the work in relation to the fund. The enriched fund will benefit more women, which will offer more diversified activities and targets the development need of contemporary women. Besides women, we also attach a lot of importance to youth development. Last December, we have published the first Youth Development Blueprint, which is a comprehensive roadmap for the government's philosophy and direction in terms of youth development work. It lays down a definitive tone on our youth work in the future. For the first phase, we will launch over 160 specific measures and activities to support youth development. This will provide a clear direction and foundation for our future work to support youth. We will implement these measures gradually and offer a favorable environment for young people to remain hopeful towards the future development and also keep on striving and make use of their strength to contribute to Hong Kong, the country, and the world. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary Mack. Secretary Yeung will now have the floor. Friends of the media, let me say a few words on the major initiatives in the budget on culture, sports, and tourism. On arts and culture, to promote the development of arts and culture in Hong Kong, the government will seize upon Hong Kong's unique advantages of where Chinese and Western cultures meet and the wealth of our cultural resources to develop Hong Kong into an East meets West center for international cultural exchange. We have the following work directions. We develop world-class cultural facilities and pluralistic cultural environment. We enhance cultural exchange and cooperation with the mainland and strengthen our connections with overseas arts and culture organizations. We leverage technology and we nurture talents. In particular, we attach importance to cultural cooperation and exchange with other cities in the Greater Bay Area. $20 million will be set aside in the 2023-24 budget for Hong Kong to host the Greater Bay Area Culture and Arts Festival in 2024, offering high-quality cultural and performing arts programs from the area to further promote the exchange and integration of arts and culture in the region. It is expected that 5,000 Hong Kong and mainland artists, as well as other practitioners in the sector, will participate in the festival, attracting an anticipated audience of 140,000. The government will also set aside $135 million in the coming 5 years to support performing arts groups and artists in Hong Kong in taking part in performances and productions in the Greater Bay Area, including further promoting collaboration with performance venues and the theatres. It is anticipated that each year 1,000 Hong Kong artists will participate in the activities with an audience of 40,000 from the Greater Bay Area. The above will help promote arts and culture of Hong Kong to the Greater Bay Area to enhance cultural exchanges. They will bring more development opportunities for Hong Kong artists and arts groups to jointly promote the development of a succession of traditional Chinese culture, enhancing the soft power of Canton culture and bolster Hong Kong's status as Asia Cultural Hub. The government launched the Create Smart Initiative, CSI, in 2009. It has since then sponsored 650 projects, thereby nurturing talents and promoting startups in the creative industries, tapping new markets, and fostering a creative atmosphere in the community. As such, it has been announced in the budget that an additional $500 million will be injected into the CSI to promote creative industries as a new impetus for the economy. Create Hong Kong will create a new policy focus under the CSI to encourage more cross-sectoral and cross-genre collaboration to bring diversity and new impetus to the creative industries. For example, there will be collaboration between animation and tourism, fashion design and pop music. We will also provide new resources to support the co-production of television variety programs by local television stations with the mainland or Asian production teams to enhance the influence of Hong Kong's pop culture. We'll also support the relevant industries and their merchandise in tapping bigger markets and grooming more talents for the respective industries. The government will also provide additional resources to give funding support for the Hong Kong Design Centre and the Hong Kong Trade Development Council to implement flagship events and incubation projects. Funding will also be provided to Sham Shui Po Design and Fashion Project for its operation and activities, nurturing of design talents, brand building for startups, and promoting the economy of the local community. On sports, the government works along the 5 directions of supporting the development of elite sports, hosting international major sports events, promoting sports in community, sports as a profession and an industry. The government proposes in the budget to examine the conversion of some underutilized floors of Kwun Chung Municipal Services Building into an urban sports center so as to provide a suitable venue for activities popular among youths such as sport, climbing, and skateboarding. With the resumption of normal travel, the tourism sector in Hong Kong is recovering. We must strive to attract tourists and live in Hong Kong's image, whilst continue to support the tourism industry on its recovery path. The government will earmark a total of $950 million for rolling out proactive measures to attract more inbound tourists and support the tourism industry. Among them, $820 million will be allocated to the Hong Kong Tourism Board, of which $250 million will be spent on organizing and helping promote major international and local events in Hong Kong, including the Hong Kong pop culture to be held for the first time by the LCSD, the Hong Kong Wine and Dine Festival to be held in physical mode against the epidemic, as well as other major arts or sports events such as the Art Basel in Hong Kong, the Hong Kong Sevens, the Hong Kong International Dragon Boat Races, and the Hong Kong Cyclothon to rebuild Hong Kong's image as the events capital in Asia. This summer, the Hong Kong Tourism Board will organize a large-scale Sealand Carnival with Victoria Harbour as the stage and a brand new light show. This will be an event to be enjoyed by tourists and locals alike, in line with the Happy Hong Kong campaign proposed by the Financial Secretary, so as to put a smile on everyone's face. Other activities will also be organized by the West Kowloon Cultural District Authority, Hong Kong Disneyland, Ocean Park Hong Kong, in support of the campaign. Additional funding of about $200 million will be allocated to the Hong Kong Tourism Board to step up its efforts in securing the staging of more international meetings, incentive travels, conventions, and exhibitions or MICE of various scales and types, so as to consolidate Hong Kong's position as a premier MICE destination in the region and attract high value-added overnight visitors to Hong Kong. Hong Kong Tourism Board will spend about $200 million to extend the Hello Hong Kong global promotional campaign to welcome visitors to come back. We are also going to provide transport, dining, attractions, and shopping privileges to 1 million inbound visitors via distributing Hong Kong goodies. The local tourism industry will be engaged in global major tourism exhibitions and activities to boost our profile and create opportunities. The board will also provide great incentive to attract the visits of international cruises to facilitate the revival of the cruise industry and bolster Hong Kong's status as a major cruise port in the region. The government will also earmark $100 million to attract more inbound visitors and more mega events to take place in Hong Kong, which will help promote Hong Kong to the tourists around the world. On supporting the tourism industry, the government will extend the travel agents' incentive scheme, which is due to expire by the end of March 2023 for 3 months using existing resources. 500 new quotas will be given to each travel agent with $100 of incentive across the board to assist the revival of the industry. We'll also inject $30 million to the Information Technology Department Matching Fund scheme for travel agents to enhance the capacity of travel agents through the use of information technology. Funding aside, in order to facilitate the tourism sector's speedy recovery, the government will introduce a new scheme on the basis of the SME Financing Guarantee Scheme, SFGS, called the 100 Loan Guarantee Scheme for travel agents, for about 1,600 licensed travel agents. A maximum period of 10 years of loan guarantee will be provided, and the maximum loan amount will range from $1 to $5 million depending on the number of employees. The same 100 loan guarantee scheme will also be launched for local coach operators with tour service endorsement. Each coach will be eligible for a maximum loan of $100,000. About 3,000 eligible coaches will benefit from the scheme. The Hong Kong Mortgage Corporation Limited will strive to roll out the schemes in April. And that concludes my introduction. And I will welcome questions from you.
Thank you, Mr. Kevin Yeung. Now it is the time to take questions. Please tell us the name of your media outlets and also limit your questions to 2. And the scope should be the contents of the budget. The gentleman in the back. Good afternoon. I'm from TMHK. 2 questions for the 2 secretaries. Now, the gourmet marketplace. Ms. Alice Mack said that the details will be announced later, but can you tell us first, give us some hints? How many districts will see this food fair? Is it a regular food fair every Saturday, Sunday, or will it just be or will it be conducted in a flash mob style? And what will be the threshold for application, and how much will the administrative cost be? Our second question is for Mr. Kevin Yeung about the Sealand Carnival. Again, how many times will it be hosted? Will it be a regular event, and what will the administrative cost be? Now, after the budget was announced, the travel industry was disappointed that there was not a revival fund for them, and it is very hard for them to hire people. So how can you help them? Ms. Alice Mack? Yes, as mentioned by the financial secretary at different platforms yesterday, we are going to launch this Happy Hong Kong campaign because over the past few years, the atmosphere was subdued because there was nowhere to go. The Happy Hong Kong campaign is proposed under the budget because we want to conduct thematic activities in different districts in Hong Kong for the public to enjoy themselves. Now, gourmet is one of our main attractions. So the concept of the food fair is that we want to present to visitors our local gourmet dishes and signature dishes from different places so that visitors and the general public can enjoy good food. So to answer your questions, we are going to host the food fair in various districts for multiple times, but it won't be a regular event. Over different weekends, we are going to conduct this fair in different districts. And also for interested businesses or food vendors, we are now reaching out to the interested parties. As I said, the food fair is supposed to be a collation of different gourmet from locally and also from overseas. Since there will be a lot of different types of food, we want to present a wide variety of choices to the public. So we are now studying on how we can reach out to as many vendors as possible. The Home and Youth Affairs Bureau will be the bureau for coordinating this event. So that will definitely be youth involvement. We want to make it an opportunity for young people to participate. So besides presenting gourmet dishes from everywhere in the world, we also want to encourage young people to try to run a business in the food fair. Now, in terms of the administrative cost, the entire funding cost for the Happy Hong Kong campaign will be $20 million. This was just announced by the FS yesterday. So we will take forward the campaign as soon as possible. Under the campaign, beside the gourmet marketplace, we also have the Sealand Carnival conducted by the Tourism Board. And like Mr. Kevin Yeung said, organizations including Cyberport Company, the WKCDA, and also Ocean Park will also support this campaign. We will communicate with all the supporting organizations. We will host a meeting with them to hammer out the details. By April, the first batch of electronic consumption vouchers will be dispersed. So it would be a good opportunity for the public to spend the consumption vouchers. Now, the idea is to put a smile on everyone's face. In the post-epidemic time, we want people to go out and spend.
To answer your second question about the carnival to be hosted by the Hong Kong Tourism Board, we are preparing for its launch. The Hong Kong Tourism Board has been organizing various activities all along with the focus of attracting inbound visitors to Hong Kong. So the Hong Kong Tourism Board is experienced in organizing major events. As mentioned in the budget, this carnival will use Victoria Harbour as the backdrop. There will be dancing and musical performances. As for details, the Hong Kong Tourism Board will make announcements once they are ironed out. As for administrative costs and the total costs, as in the past, the Hong Kong Tourism Board plans for major events using its internal resources. So I think they first need to finalize the details before disclosing these details to you. All in all, the objective is to attract inbound visitors by holding these activities whilst allowing the general public in Hong Kong to enjoy the show as well. About the Women's Empowerment Fund, or the fund for the travel industry, in the past 3 years, the travel industry had been under a lot of pressure. So in the past 3 years, the government has put in some $4.48 billion in support of the tourism industry. We have a number of schemes still in place. For example, we have a cultural and heritage sites local tour incentive scheme and also another travel agents incentive scheme. And as mentioned in the budget, the travel agents incentive scheme, which is due to expire by the end of March, will be extended by another 3 months. But as you know, with resumption of normal travel, visitors are coming back to Hong Kong. So despite this background, we're still a far cry from the passenger or the arrival figures at its peak in 2018. And in any event, we are coming back from the trough. We are seeing a rebound in terms of business figures and arrival figures. In this budget, we have this idea in mind that in preparing for full revival of the tourism industry, we are still facing challenges in terms of recruiting sufficient manpower, etc. And the most important thing is to tide the tourism industry over the difficulties. Hence, the 100% loan guarantee scheme for travel agents. Loan guarantees will be provided for travel agents to take out loans to tackle the cash flow problems and tide them over the difficulties in the run-in period. For example, we all learned about insufficient coaches and some extra resources are needed to recruit drivers and to have the coaches checked. The travel agents also need to recruit more manpower. And we are providing a 10-year loan guarantee period under the 100% loan guarantee scheme for travel agents. And when businesses pick up for the industry in the coming 10 years, they should be able to repay the loan gradually. We believe that this will help the revival of the tourism industry and tide them over the difficulties. So all in all, these measures should be useful. And of course, as far as the budget is concerned, we need to strike a balance between the different needs in different sectors. As this budget again projects a deficit for the coming year, we need to be especially prudent in where the resources are allocated. However, we do believe the 100% loan guarantee scheme for the tourism industry will help the industry tackle certain problems in the initial stage of the recovery. Next question, this gentleman.
Questions from HKU journalism. First, in youth development, you'll be investing in developing for the youth, like examining suitable venues for urban sports. May you explain more on how we will get the information about the interest of the youth in Hong Kong? We will set up a committee with teenagers involved to understand the demand from Hong Kong youth comprehensively. And if so, what will be the structure of the committee? Second, in arts, there is a plan to sell a Hong Kong performing arts market to build international cultural events. However, previously there were concerns over a censorship problem in IFVA, a media award hosted by Hong Kong Arts Center. While the government has the urge to promote international events and cultural exchange in Hong Kong, may I know whether you have considered the problem of art censorship due to conflict of culture or political reasons? And if this concern exists, will there be another measurement to settle this problem? Thank you.
For the urban sports, I think we are based on our understanding with the development in the sports sector. We know that there are a number of urban sports that has been starting to be included in the Olympic Games and also in some of the international competitions. And we have picked 5 urban sports for promotion in Hong Kong, including the 3x3 basketball, 5-a-side soccer, and some of the sports as well. So we are now focusing on these 5 sports, and one of the initiatives in the budget is to transform the Kwun Chung market into an urban sports center. And in doing so, I think this is in line with our strategy to promote urban sports. And in the course of doing that, of course, we will be consulting the sports sector, as well as we will, through the sports sector and through our network, and to communicate with the youth as well as the community. And I think that would be a very good chance for us to develop further in these sports and to achieve better results if these are to be included in future international games. For the culture, of course, one of our objectives is to develop Hong Kong into an East meets West international center for cultural exchange. And in doing so, we promote exchange of cultures, including performing arts, including visual arts, and we organize many forums, discussions, exhibitions, and also arranging performances for groups or artists from international arena and also from the mainland to come to Hong Kong together with our local artists for cooperation, for exchanges, and for co-productions. I'm not too worried about the so-called self-censorship. I think at this stage, Hong Kong is always a very open society, and you can find different forms of arts with different subjects and different expressions in Hong Kong, and I think this will continue in Hong Kong, and I'm sure that people or artists will find that they could they could have their own expression in the Hong Kong cultural scene. But of course, in Hong Kong we have to abide by the law. So anything against Hong Kong law will not be allowed.
係，下一位。
Next, please. The lady at the back.
English questions for the Happy Hong Kong campaign. The first question is, how will you determine what is a successful Happy Hong Kong campaign? Is there a set KPI or goals the government hopes to hit in order to be considered successful, such as how many residents the campaign hopes to attract, or the profit made, or the number of events organized? The second question is that the campaign hopes to put a smile on people's faces as the city recovers from the pandemic, right? But how will we know that people are happy and smiling and life is back to normal under this campaign when Hong Kong is still one of the last places in the world with outdoor mask mandates? Thank you.
Okay, as we all know that we have gone through three very difficult years in the past 3 years during the pandemic. That's why the Financial Secretary has decided to launch the Happy Hong Kong campaign to provide opportunities for the general public to share the happy and joy and moments after 3 years pandemic, especially after the relaxation of those anti-COVID measures. So it's about time for us to get together to try the various gourmet from overseas and the mainland and local gourmet. So talking about how do we evaluate how success the Happy Hong Kong campaign will be, we will, as I said, the Financial Secretary has just announced the campaign yesterday. And we are working full steam ahead, and we'll work with various stakeholders in organizing a successful Happy Hong Kong campaign. And through this campaign, we hope to provide the chance for our Hong Kong people to get together, to try gourmet, and to especially to feel the happy and joy in the society. So we are not going to set a specific KPI, say, happiness is something that you can measure, right? Happiness is something that you can feel. So we will encourage our general public to participate in the campaign. And we are grateful that, and we're happy to see that many organizations, just such as the West Kowloon Cultural Center and the Cyberport, etc., they are willing to work with us to provide this happy and joy atmosphere in the society. And for the mask-on policy, as you are aware, the Chief Executive has mentioned in various occasions that at a suitable time, this policy will be re-examined. And I'm sure that when Hong Kong people will work together to fight against the virus, and when the pandemic has gone, the policy will be introduced at a suitable time. And we trust that when Hong Kong people work together, this moment will come very soon.
係，下一位，前面呢位白色。
Next question, please. The lady in the front. Hi, I'm from TVB. First question about details of the Happy Hong Kong campaign. with full resumption of cross-boundary travel and also with no quarantine measures, many people are traveling overseas. So how we would help the different sectors in Hong Kong specifically, and also is there a timetable for the campaign? And also under the budget, are there any money earmarked for the HYAB to take forward the reforming of district councils? If so, when will you announce the details? Concerning the benefits of the Happy Hong Kong campaign for the economy, after the budget was delivered, Mr. Tommy Yeung, who represents the catering sector, told me how his sector could help to contribute to the gourmet marketplace idea. So from the warm response, you can tell the Happy Hong Kong campaign will be beneficial for the sector, and also it will help to create an enjoyable and happy ambience in society for people to enjoy themselves. And it will also be beneficial for the development of different sectors. In terms of the review on district administration, we are undertaking the study and we will announce the details later. The last two questions, please. The lady in glasses.
TMHK. So the first question is a follow-up on the food fair. How is it different from the previous food truck program, and have the authorities learned anything from the failure of the previous food truck pilot scheme and apply it to the food truck initiative? Food fair initiative. And the second question would be about the revival fund. Why is a 100% guarantee loan scheme better than a direct fund, given that the tourism sector still have a long way to go to recover from its pandemic low? Thank you.
There were many successful food fairs that have been organized in the past in Hong Kong, and we'll build on those experiences to develop our gourmet marketplace, to bring together overseas, the mainland and local gourmet at the food fairs. So I hope with this food fairs, the general public will have a chance to get together after 3 years pandemic. And for the particulars or the detailed procedures for as to how to apply for or what suppliers will be included, as I said, we are working full steam ahead in organizing the food fairs, and the details will be announced very soon.
And on the second question, we are not sort of comparing the recovery fund with a loan scheme, which one is better or not. I think the objective is we know that the trade is facing or under some pressure during this pickup period when the tourism started the industry started to pick up, and they may be pressures on their financial resources as well as employment. So when we look at the loan scheme, we find that it actually could provide the extra financial support that could that serve as a tie over during this interim period when the business started to pick up. If you really want to compare with a recovery fund, the main difference is one for the fund is the government giving out some money into the fund to support the trade, whereas for a loan scheme, the government is putting up a commitment to guarantee that the mortgage corporation will get the money back in case of default. So at the end of the day, it is just a comparison of how the government would like to spend the money on. As I explained, we are now running this year. We are having a deficit budget, and we are very tight in terms of spending money. So if we have a loan scheme that could also serve the purpose of helping the industry during this interim period, then it may be the most suitable one at this moment. That's why the decision is made like that.
係最後一條。
Last question, please. The gentleman in white. Good afternoon. I'm from Epoch Times. Now, the Create Smart Hong Kong initiative has received $500 million injection for local TV programs or TV stations to co-produce television variety programs with Asian production teams. So, and also, how did you set the amount, that is the $2.4 billion to be collected from the Hong Kong Jockey Club in terms of the football betting duty? And also about the gourmet marketplace, how can you learn from the failed gourmet truck program? Thank you.
The objective of the Create Smart initiative is that we have 8 creative industries in Hong Kong, and the CSI aims at providing support to 7 of the industries. We also have the filming industry supported by the Film Development Fund. So the creative industries include the television and music. As far as this initiative is concerned, we encourage the co-production of television variety programs by local TV stations and TV stations in the mainland and in Asia. The purpose is to expand the market. If we have co-produced programs, apart from promoting the TV variety programs locally, we can also tap Asian markets. So we're talking about promoting TV programs with Hong Kong characteristics to other Asian countries. And second of all, we also groom local talents and bring new opportunities for them to tap other markets. So it's not so much as interfering with the operation of TV stations. Rather, it's about grooming talents for the whole industry and expanding the market. And this is exactly the 2 major objectives of the Create Smart initiatives. About the football betting duty, this is set by the Financial Secretary. As for the $2.4 billion of duty to be levied, I think that the Financial Secretary will be able to answer your question. In terms of in percentage terms, we're standing at 50%, and if we are to increase the percentage to 60%, we're talking about $2.4 billion a year. As for the nitty-gritty of this, of the arithmetic, you may have noticed that for many years, the Hong Kong Jockey Club has been well established as the major charitable organization in Hong Kong, contributing to various charitable causes. As it is common knowledge that a deficit is to be expected, and our fiscal position is not optimistic, and over the years, since the Hong Kong Jockey Club has been the major philanthropist in Hong Kong, there shouldn't be a problem for them to support the government's initiatives by contributing $2.4 billion in the form of betting duty every year. It shouldn't pose too much burden on them because as the major charity in Hong Kong, the Hong Kong Jockey Club has been making major contributions to our society. And I'm sure that the Hong Kong Jockey Club should be proud of its capability in making contributions to Hong Kong and to support our development over the years. As for the gourmet market, as I said a number of times, we plan to set up food fairs in different districts so that after COVID, there will be opportunities for us to gather together under the Gourmet Marketplace initiative. We want to give a good culinary experience for the enjoyment of the general public. And in the process, we are going to introduce to the food fair dishes from around the world and local cuisine as well, so as to encourage participation by locals, by the local catering industry, and especially, as I said just now, the participation of youths. So there will be participation from all walks of life to bring success to the Gourmet Marketplace. That's the end of the press conference. Thank you.